doing? If you're thinking about buying or selling a house in Thornton, Colorado, you're probably wondering about the current market. That information is coming right up. Hi, I'm Natalie Randall, former teacher turned realtor and real estate strategist, helping people make their move in and to the Denver and greater North Denver areas. Now, if you want to know everything there is to know about living in Denver and the North Denver areas, start now by hitting that subscribe button. P.S. It'll help my self-esteem, so make sure to click it. Also tap on that bell so that you're notified anytime I've made a market report just for you. In light of recent events, it can be tough to determine how the market is actually performing. However, I do love data and analyzing things, self-proclaimed nerd, but numbers and stats, well, they just make me happy. So let's take a closer look at what Thornton, Colorado did in the month of July, which we title as an August report because that's when we actually have all the information that we need. So last July in 2019, there were 220 new single-family homes for sale. This July in 2020, there were 227 new listings. That's a total increase of 3.2%. It's fair to say that the numbers are a bit skewed since everything progressively slowed down with mandatory shutdowns. However, what we're actually seeing is that our current market more closely resembles a market that we would see for a normal spring market in Denver and also extending to those North Denver suburbs. So last July in 2019, there were 210 single-family homes that sold. And in this July 2020, there were 200 total single-family homes that sold. That's a 4.8% decrease, which can be contributed to several factors: the sale of new construction homes, uncertainty on what will happen with the election, etc. Before I get too much further into this, I think it's worth noting that a lot of times a buyer will ask me, well, if there's so fewer homes selling and there's a decrease, does that mean I should wait to buy until the market crashes? Keep in mind that what happened in 2007 and 2008 was directly related to the types of home loans that were being distributed. We have no crystal ball. However, chief economists have said that if we have a housing recession, which is not the same as a housing crash, it will be due to global trading. And we need to remember that purchasing and selling real estate is a long-term investment, so there's no such thing as timing the market. If you need to sell, then sell. And if you need to buy, then buy. In other words, don't try to time the market. Base your home purchase simply on your financial well-being and your ability to purchase and afford a home at any given point in time. Notably, interest rates are still incredibly low. So if you've been sitting on the fence and questioning whether or not you should buy, and it's really not a matter of affordability, then it may be worthwhile to consider taking advantage of the incredibly low interest rates that we have in our current market. The median sales price for a single-family home in July of 2019 was $410,000. The median sales price for a single-family home in July of 2020 is $450,000. That is an incredible 9.8% increase. Talk about nice equity appreciation. Let's chat about what is another important factor for sellers, and that is the percentage of the list price received. So what this means is you list your home at a certain price, and then the percentage of that list price is what you will actually receive when your home closes and is sold to a buyer. So in July of 2019, our percentage of list price received for single-family homes was 99.7%. In July of 2020, the percentage of list price received for those single-family homes was 100.7%, a total of 1% increase. Along these lines, notice that although the percentage of list price received is important because it does indicate a buyer's perception of the value of the home they're interested in purchasing, it's also important just to know that pricing your home competitively in any market will render a sales price close to or above list price. If you want more information on that, please reach out. I'm happy to guide you on pricing your home appropriately. Now, this next stat that I'm going to share with you is actually one that I get asked most often about from my sellers and from my buyers, and it's called days on market. So what this statistic actually means is how many days on the market does the house sit until it goes into an under contract or pending status. So in July of 2019, the average home in Thornton, Colorado, that was single family, sat on the market for 20 days before going into a pending status. In July of 2020, the days on market decreased to 18 days. This is great because it actually means that if you're a home seller, your house should sit on the market less than it would have a year ago. And it's about a 10% decrease from what we saw compared to last year. Now, what does this mean for buyers? Well, what it means for buyers is that currently our market is still hot. So if you're one of those buyers that's having a hard time making a decision and you fall in love with a home, it's worth making sure that you present an offer quickly on that home so that you don't find yourself in a competing situation. And even with that being said, you may still find yourself competing, so it's important to work with a knowledgeable agent that can get your offer accepted, like me. This next one is a pretty big indicator of where the mindset is of people regarding the market, whether it's a buyer or a seller. And this key metric or statistic that we're getting ready to talk about is called inventory of homes for sale. Now, what this specifically references is how many homes are currently available for sale in the market. And if we look at last year, there were 314 single-family homes in Thornton for sale. And in July of this year, 2020, there are 121 single-family homes for sale. That is a decrease of a whopping 61.5%. In my opinion, this demonstrates that there's a ton of buyers out there and we just don't have enough homes for them. The last metric that I want to point out to you is the month's supply of inventory. What this means is how many months of inventory we have before all those homes are sold. So in July of 2019, our month supply of single-family homes in all of Adams County was 2 months. And what is absolutely mind-blowing to me is that currently in July of 2020, our month supply of single-family homes in Adams County is 0.9%. This means despite the pandemic, despite any uncertainty that people are currently feeling, we are still very much in a seller's market, and that market is sizzling hot. The difference between July of 2019 and July of 2020 year over year and month supply of inventory is a decrease of 55%. Now, if you have any questions or need some assistance, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help. Below in the description is a link to this market report, so make sure to check that out. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do so now.